the funny thing about Spinal Tap, when I went to see it, I was the only person in the audience that wasn't laughing because it really was like a documentary to me. Because those things actually happened. I mean, when they got lost going to the stage, that happened.
No! Hello and welcome to How to Be an Icon. I'm Jerry Jones. I'm joined, as always, by Donna Cameron.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty dang good.
You had a fun day today. You, not to dox you where you work.
What, Gotham City?
Yes, but we've had some fun filming Batman stuff round by you today.
Yes. So round, and this is not giving my location away,
Yeah.
but around by the Liverbird building, which was featured in The Batman, they are filming for new Batman film, not The Batman, Clayface.
Yes.
But yeah, I came around the corner at work today and my building said Gotham
Yes.
City Hall on it, and I was absolutely delighted by it, and I was kind of being not a menace. I wasn't bothering the people, but I was definitely like hanging around a bit too much.
You had such a look of joy sending photos to me this morning, being like, I'm in Gotham! Papa!
Because I was like a bit, it was like 7:45 in the morning. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's
a
quite
bit,
early.
I'm a bit like, oh, sleepy. I've got a coffee and I'm making my way to work. And you have a little bit of going, wait, am I hallucinating? Why does the builder say Gotham? What's going on? Why is there like American road signs? Am I like in a Darren Brown experiment? But I was really sad because they were taking everything down by the time a lot of people got there. And I also got a little bit in trouble at work for trying to be fun.
Yeah, you were trying to lift the team spirits and being like, watch out, there's men dressed as bats and spooky clowns going
I was
around.
like, good morning, everyone. Just a heads up, there's a lot of police cars and there might be some criminals afoot. And my boss took me aside and was like, because of the job we do, that's not funny. And I didn't mean to. I did laugh more.
Yeah. But yeah, so no, you've had a fun excursion to Gotham City.
I have, but I'm back.
You're back, and we're here to talk about a band.
Louder than Oasis, louder than Ozzy, louder than Motorhead, which
Yeah.
were famously louder than everything else.
Yep.
We have Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
We're talking about Spinal Tap today, everyone.
That's fun. I'm looking forward to it. You know.
Tell me a little bit. What's your like?
What's my read on Spinal Tap?
Yeah, when you hear those words, how does it make you feel?
I watched the groundbreaking documentary, This is Spinal Tap, and it is a documentary. I will not hear anyone say otherwise. And yeah, I just think it just really puts it into perspective.
Too much
In perspective.
It's better than the Metallica one where they all go to therapy and have to like
Some kind of monster?
deal with their emotional problems.
Yeah.
But I am going to go on the record here of saying that Spinal Tap are the single most influential band in British history.
Well, okay, that's fair. I mean, we've done Oasis. Some people would put that on there,
We haven't done the Beatles yet.
We haven't done the Beatles yet.
They predate the Beatles by like a year and a bit.
Yeah, well, look forward to our 4-part weekly release like that movie that's coming out. Why are they doing that? What a terrible idea.
Beatles verse, isn't it?
Yeah, the Beatles verse. Oh, by the way, subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/how to be an icon.
Join the How to Be an Icon verse.
Yes.
You can hear all of our spin-offs.
Yeah, you can, where we talk about our book club, where we've got the
Anthony Bourdain and oral history, yeah.
and you can also follow us on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter, as well.
And if you also join our Patreon, you can join us backstage for our post show, where you get to hang out with the band.
And we'll be talking more about This is Spinal Tap. So you can hear our thoughts on that.
Firstly, though, Jared, very important. What is the band's favourite drink?
Do they have one between them, or is it
Just, I have one word answer.
Is it beer?
Liquids.
Liquids. That's fair.
When interviewed on several occasions, when they've been asked what their favourite thing to drink is, they often reply liquids. There have been other answers, but most of them are incomprehensible.
Okay, yeah. Liquids is a good answer.
But who are we talking about? We're talking about Spinal Tap.
Yeah, of course.
Consisting of 4 consistent members.
Right.
We have David St. Hubbins, lead singer and rhythm guitarist, Nigel Tufnell on lead guitar, Derek Smalls on bass guitar, Viv Savage on keyboards, as well as several drummers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting story about their drummers, you know. They've gone through so many.
We'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, the band has had over 37 members.
That's a crazy number.
Now, it is one of the highest. I think only Oasis have had more drummers than Spinal Tap.
And the only band that's ever had more members is the Sugar Babes, as we know. I believe in the era...
Oh, Jared, do you want to go get that?
No, it's I don't want to answer the door. It's Mutia Buena from the Sugar Babes, and I served my time in office. I ran from the Obama era. 2008 to 2012. That was when, or 2016. Sorry, that was when I ran as a member of the Sugar Babes.
And I am here as a conscientious objector. I will not join.
They'll get to you. They always get to you. No one gets to just sit out the Sugar Babes.
Nigel Tufnell was born in Squatney, East London on February 5th, 1948.
Isn't that where your mum's from? Isn't she from Squatney?
How dare you? He was given his first guitar, a Sunburst Rhythm King, by his father at age 6, where he began playing next door with his neighbour, David St. Hubbins. This is where they wrote their first song together, All the Way Home.
Yeah. They make a point of that in This Is Spinal Tap about the song that they first sang.
I don't need to see adult men singing songs they wrote as children. It's a bit like... It reminds me of when Billie Eilish was doing the Bond theme and she's like, oh yeah, me and my brother used to write Bond themes. And you're like, no, you didn't.
No, you
Shut
didn't.
up.
You did not used to write Bond themes as a child. That's a lame activity to do as a child.
But this was like a big era for music. They were influenced by blues and jazz. And eventually they formed a skiffle band known as the Thamesmen.
Mm-hmm.
And they release their first single in 1964 called Gimme Some Money.
Yeah.
This is important because a lot of people consider this to be the big influence on the Beatles.
Yeah.
You can hear a lot of that very early on, and
mm-hmm.
a lot of people say the Beatles stole a lot of their stuff from Spinal Tap. Now, we're not getting into it, but...
It's very political, you know. It's north-south is what that is, you know. Like, you know, I think if you go down south, people will say that Spinal Tap came first, but, you know...
Time runs faster down south. You are closer to the equator.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we know this. But unlike a lot of groups at the time, Gimme Some Money is a little bit more aggressive, like lyrically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's not only a forerunner to the Beatles, but a really like clear precursor to like Iggy and the Stooges. So you hear a lot of I Want to Be Your Dog that comes in 1969. But in 1965, they released the B-side, Cups and Cakes, which is, you know, a little sweeter,
delightful,
a little bit more...
yeah. We love that song.
Which one do you prefer between the two? Because it's always very divisive between...
I'm a Cups and Cakes kind of guy, you know.
Oh, I'm a give me some money kind of guy.
Well, there we go. That's why we work so well together.
Oh, you can't hear it, ladies and gentlemen, but we are in fact shaking hands.
We sure are.
However, the year after they made history, and they changed their name from the Thamesmen. They had that weird period where they were the originals and the new originals, but we don't...
we don't talk about that, yeah.
They changed the name to Spinal Tap.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able, with this new name, to play a little bit more with like current genres and become forerunners for a second time musically to psychedelic pop with Listen to the Flower People.
Yeah.
I don't love psychedelia.
No, it's not your favorite.
But again, you can kind of hear what the Beatles tried and failed to replicate later on in albums like Sgt. Pepper and things like that. It's very like, oh, hi Ringo, we know what you were up to. It's also very notably around this time that Derek Smalls joins the band.
Huge influence, you know.
Derek grew up in Nilford on Null in the West Midlands, your neck of the woods.
Yeah, it's my neck of the woods, yeah.
Where his father, Donald Duff Smalls, ran a phone sanitation business called Sanny Phone.
Oh.
It's believed that's where Derek got his interest in music.
Well, there we go.
He clarified no further. Derek is self-described as lukewarm water in the band, where Nigel and David are fire and ice.
Yeah, you know.
He's like a good cup of tea that you've left out on the table.
Yeah, he gets in between the two of them, you know.
Yeah, really evens it out. But we now have the Magic Three.
Yeah.
Listen to the Flower People was huge. Really, really big.
Oh, yeah.
And it gave the band a lot of confidence to experiment with like new musical landscapes. They had the money and they had the cultural weight to be bold and think outside the box. And they started like crafting new genres. Their follow-up album, We Are All Flower People, bombed.
It's not.
However, they forged heavy metal.
Well, again, Ozzy around this time, I think Derek Smalls might have been. I think he tried out for. I think I remember reading about that in Ozzy's book that he tried out for Black Sabbath, and he was the one and only member to get rejected outright. So,
I mean, they're intimidated by the talent that is on display by Derek.
Tony Iommi could only,
I believe that was the name of Derek Smalls' failed autobiography.
Yeah, I think
Tony if only can only.
Yeah.
My favorite shape of pasta.
Tony Iommi.
Tony Iommi.
We're talking about one of music's greatest bands here, and we are not doing it the service that we deserve.
Look, I'm taking it very seriously.
Yeah.
You're the one.
But
now we have heavy metal.
We do, yeah.
Again, a lot of people claim Ozzy and Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
But, we don't need to get into it.
Well, again, I didn't want to bring up.
They definitely brought what is more fundamental to metal.
Look, I didn't want to bring.
And Ozzy's never claimed Black Sabbath to be metal.
It's true, and I didn't want to bring up Spinal Tap when we were talking about the.
It's disrespectful shortly after his passing.
It's shortly after his passing, and I just know that we'd get a bunch of hate comments. It would cause absolute chaos in the comment section, and I have no time for it. We were doing a tribute episode.
It is very debated why they made this change in direction, though, from this 70s psychedelia pop to heavy metal.
Mm-hmm.
The documentary we mentioned before, as well as a few documentaries, don't outright state it, but do kind of insist it is something you mentioned earlier. Incidents regarding their drummers. Now, sadly, death is part and parcel of that rock and roll lifestyle.
It is, it really is.
Like Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Amy Winehouse.
Mm-hmm. Brian Harvey ran himself over with a car, eating too many jacket potatoes. So, these tragedies, they do happen, unfortunately. Chico almost died of a heart attack.
R.I.P.
He's still alive.
But, there are, there are a few deaths in rock and roll that are as tragic as some of the drummers from Spinal Tap. John Stumpy Pepys, who died in a bizarre gardening accident that police said was better left unsolved.
Yeah.
A clear example here we see of just neglect from the police regarding hippies and musicians around this time. So it's big war on drugs period as well, and you see a lot of negligence regarding that. Eric Stumpy Joe Childs died choking on someone else's vomit.
Yeah.
The vomit was of unknown origin, but was confirmed to not be his own. Details are uncertain because you can't dust for vomit.
No, you can't.
I guess now with modern technology and resources, we might actually be able to understand a bit more about that. But unfortunately, it's just a mystery.
Yeah.
And then tragically, there is Peter James Bond, who exploded on stage and just left a green salty puddle on the stool.
Wow.
Derek Smalls was confirmed to have tried it.
Yeah.
Didn't learn anything from it.
No.
According to a 1999 survey held by the British government, it is actually more dangerous to be in Spinal Tap than it is to live in Wales.
Really makes you think.
It really does.
That is really is pause for thought right there.
More importantly, around this time they signed with Ian Faith and Megaphone Records, which gives them a few years of kind of moderate releases. All of them are a lot heavier. They're a lot more anti-establishment in flavor. We're really shaping.
Oh yeah.
Not just metal, but Spinal Tap and culture as a whole. Because Jared, are you ready for half a decade of absolute album releases?
Oh my goodness.
1970, we have Brain Hammer. In 1971, we have Nerve Damage. 1972, Blood to Let. And my personal favorite, 1974, Intravenous Demylo.
It's yeah.
Tell me four more perfect metal albums in a row.
Groundbreaking.
I'll wait.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think, though, this is where we see that kind of mixture. And again, we see it with Oasis, we saw it with Ozzy, again and again, like this mixture of tragedy and fame really pushes people to do something creatively. And this is when the band actually start developing their own amps.
Wow.
Did you hear about this?
I've heard about this. It's kind of...
What do you know about them?
I just know that they are very loud is the thing that I know. You can't get louder.
They go up to 11.
That's crazy, you know? Because I would think that you would just make 10 the loudest.
Well, this like blew everything out of the water in the music industry because
Okay.
many other bands, notably Motorhead, for like 200 years at this point, have been trying to figure out just how to make things louder.
Yeah.
And Spinal Tap did just go, well, what if we just make it one louder? And everyone went,
That's crazy.
it's so simple.
Yeah. You
And
know, it's these solutions are so easy in hindsight, you know. They make so much sense.
the same way that Madonna's Vogue is so impactful because it is so spare.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Spinal Tap has a lot of that when they just go, we'll make it 11.
Yeah.
But at the height of their fame, we also see like the height of their tensions.
Yeah. It happens a lot with these sorts of bands, you know. Egos are running wild.
We saw it with Oasis.
Yeah.
I think Nebworth really kind of was the top of the Big Dipper for them. They also start to see their ticket sales slowing down kind of strangely. There's one really awful incident where they are at a record signing and no one attends. This is because of a massive bungle on the promoter's end, but it's also due to the album art. And we're talking about the 1984 album, Smell the Glove.
A controversial piece for sure.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And it's really funny thinking about it now because I said this to you the other day. It looks the original cover they were going to go with looks a lot like Sabrina Carpenter's Man-Child cover.
I mean, a lot of people got their knickers in a twist about Sabrina Carpenter, to be fair.
But she got it in CVS and Kmart.
I guess the thing is that, you know, Sabrina Carpenter is Sabrina Carpenter.
What's wrong with being sexist?
When you're right, you're right.
It is interesting. We see, especially now, how sensibilities change. And we also were having that, like, parent advisory coming up on albums. And like, oh, it'll make you evil.
Yeah.
To kind of save the album, because a lot of money was invested into this. They had a very long kind of recording schedule for it. They decided to make the album art entirely black.
Yeah. It wasn't very favorably reviewed, I don't think, Smell the Glove either.
No. It was bloated.
You know, it was around the height of like the Satanic Panic era, and it was said that if you played the record backwards, it would sound better. So that's what they, you know, that was the thing that they went with, and many people did. And there were many accidents that happened because of it, but we can't get into that right now.
A lot of people were also confused by the entirely black cover. However, I will defend it again to the Beatles' White Album.
Yeah.
What's the difference between white and black?
I mean, could it be any blacker?
No.
Asked critic Mr. Chandler Bing.
There's also an incident regarding the Bent for Rent and Tap Dancing release albums.
I remember them well. They're
not like the most popular ones.
Yeah.
But Spinal Tap decided to sue Megaphone for back royalties. Megaphone countersued for lack of talent.
Yeah.
They ended up settling out of court, and I just think everyone went to...
I think it's fair. You know, these things, they happen, you know?
But things are definitely slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
They are going a bit from pillar to post. We have kind of various albums, including the very notorious Shark Sandwich, which was under the new label Polymore.
Yeah.
Do you remember the really famous review for Shark Sandwich?
It was a 2-word review, and it was sandwich.
I think the decline in record performance, in reviews, we start to see like a lot of tension building in the band, particularly between Nigel and David, because of, as always happens, David's partner, Janine Pettibone.
Yeah, and you know, like a lot of these women cast throughout history, you know, like Yoko Ono, have been like, was she the reason that there were tensions with the band? Yes, but not entirely, you know.
It's not her fault.
It's
She didn't help.
She didn't help. That's exactly it.
Well, in this kind of
Yeah.
climate of not being the reason, but definitely not helping,
Mm-hmm.
there was a very big argument in the hotel where Janine ends up becoming the manager of the band after Ian Faith walks out, taking with him his famous cricket bat.
Oh, well, he did take that cricket bat everywhere he went.
I forgot to mention it. There is a cricket bat up in one of the Oasis recording studios that Noel beat Liam with once.
Some people have claimed that it is Ian Faith's. You know, that's...
I've heard that.
You know, I've heard that too.
How many famous cricket bats are there? Things only get worse at this point because Nigel also ends up leaving the band. They are oddly booked on a show on a military base.
Yes.
Which now happens a lot more than we realise. But I think back in the day, it was a bit like, what?
Seemed like a bit of a low point, yeah.
Yeah, you're light entertainment. They end up having an onstage fight because Nigel's mic is... He has the little radio mic packs, and it's picking up signals from a nearby airplane tower.
Yes.
They get into a huge fight. They leave. In the words of David St. Hubbins, I'm sure I'd feel much worse if I wasn't under such heavy sedation.
Yeah, well, you know.
And that's just really sad.
That's really sad. You know, drugs, everyone.
Drugs.
They're bad. Don't do them.
The band continue, though. The show must go on.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And this is where stuff starts to get interesting.
Okay.
We'll say generously. They are playing to increasingly smaller venues, but for a lot of bands before have also done this. It gave them a bit of space to do a bit of musical exploration.
They're not afraid of, you know, genre swapping and doing, you know, innovating.
We'll get onto the amount of genres they've covered, and Nigel loves playing the guitar with his feet.
Oh.
If you really want to, you're actually able to hunt down some really great bootlegs of these shows.
Yeah.
Where you're able to see Derek Small's Jazz Odyssey. 45 to 75 minute jazz bus tour
and
through music and emotion.
Yeah. It's not for everyone.
Not for anyone.
Well,
there's also rumors around this time, though, that David and Derek started working on a Jack the Ripper musical called Saucy Jack.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I have heard so many rumors that there are demos of this. They're all fake. None of them are real. We do not have them, and if they do, they're like in someone's safe.
Yeah.
But come on,
I know.
Make Saucy Jack.
I think we should. The world's ready for it. True crime is popping off. You know, they've recently just announced Ted Bundy on ice, and I can't wait for it. So it's going to be... I think that's really going to... I think Saucy Jack now has a time to come out.
Yeah. But as always, with a lot of these stories, it's always the... We've all seen that image where that guy's mining for diamonds and he's just about to give up.
Yeah.
This is exactly what happens with Spinal Tap, and they are on the brink of giving up. They want to do different musical projects. And then the impossible happens. The single Sax Farm starts charting in Japan.
Yeah. I mean, this is a thing that we don't really get as much anymore.
No, and it's so fun.
Of being big in Japan. Another classic one for that is Scatman John's... He became very, very big in Japan. They absolutely love him in Japan. This is no joke. He outsold Michael Jackson's Thriller. That's not a joke.
I know it's not. You can check that. That is true.
That is true. That Scatman John.
I believe they also outsold Scatman John and Michael Jackson.
Wow. Put together? That's crazy.
Yeah, no.
It's huge over there.
But they went triple platinum. I don't know how many times platinum you can go, but it was enough. And as a result, they ended up dropping Janine as their manager. They rehired Ian, and they started a huge tour of Japan and Asia. During this tour, their drummer, Joe Mamabasa, claimed he couldn't take this 4/4 shit anymore and disappeared along with all the equipment during the tour.
Oh, damn it.
It's suspected he's either dead or still playing jazz.
A fate just as bad as each other, to be honest, you know.
But that is where I am going to top us off on that Japanese tour because...
It's at their peak, you know?
The footage, I think it's Kobe Hall they play.
Yeah.
And they used to really pack in stadiums back in the day before we had safety rules.
They sure did. And wow, it's incredible. You know, they're one of the most influential bands, and I think people really do sleep on them. I think people think of them as almost kind of like a joke sort of thing, and I just don't agree with that. You know, they played Glastonbury a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They've got another documentary which is due out pretty soon.
Well, we were going to talk about this a little bit more in the post show, but they don't love the documentary made about them.
They don't, no. So
describe it as a hatchet job.
It's controversial, to say the least.
I look forward to hearing them talk about themselves on their terms.
Yes. Oh, me too. I can't wait. I think it's definitely what is needed for Spinal Tap and their image going forward. But before we get into how you can learn to be an icon from the absolute icons that are Spinal Tap, you can become an icon by joining our Patreon. If you subscribe over there, patreon.com/how to be an icon. Like I say, you get access to our post-show episode. We're also going to have our final week of our book club. You can also get access to our post-show where we'll be talking all about Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap, the movie. A wonderful documentary that it is. And also, you can follow us on X, formerly Twitter. We are on YouTube. We are uploading on there. You can get your episodes on YouTube now. If that is where you want to get your episodes, then you can. They'll be out the same day. And also as well, this is a big ask for us all. But if you could please share us on your Instagram story or whatever it is, you know, please do.
Give us a share. Tell people that you like us.
Tag us in it. We'll repost you.
Spinal Tap only became big because people believed in him and shared it.
Exactly.
So if you believe in us and share us, we could meet Spinal Tap.
Exactly. That's absolutely
And
it.
isn't that a thing to consider?
But yes, how to be an icon, Spinal Tap. First of all, you know, goes without saying, but are Spinal Tap icons?
Yes.
Of course
So,
they are, yeah.
Obviously. They are your favorite band's favorite band.
That's it. Yeah, I think that's it. You know,
I think when you say they get like a bit underrated.
Yeah. You know,
that's the thing of like.
Here's the thing about Spinal Tap. You know, like, oh, it's fine. You can go into Primark and buy a shirt that says, you know, Nirvana Nevermind on it, and you don't need to know anything about Nevermind. You don't need to. But if you're going to wear,
who was Kurt Cobain listening to?
Yeah, exactly. This is it. This is the thing. You know, where are your favorite bands getting their favorite bands from?
You know, the Ramones were listening to Spinal Tap. The Stones were listening to Spinal Tap.
The Beatles were definitely listening to Spinal Tap.
Oh my God, we didn't even have time to get into the lawsuits regarding it.
Well,
but like Daniel Johnston listening to Spinal Tap. Every single person you admire musically at some point, will mention them.
Brian Harvey probably was listening to the voices in his head and getting run over by a car, but he was probably listening to Spinal Tap as well.
Oh, he had Big Bottoms on.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mentioned earlier, because I wanted to bring this up, the amount of genres they have worked through. Rock and roll, psychedelic pop, progressive rock, hard rock, very hard rock, very, very hard rock, metal, glam metal, jazz fusion, jazz funk fusion, funk jazz fusion, and reggae.
Beautiful.
But again, who else do you know is producing music in that many flavors?
Exactly. I you know, barely anyone should be doing that because they're not talented enough to do that, you know?
What do you think you could learn from Spinal Tap?
I think what I would learn is that it doesn't matter about the hardships, you know? It doesn't matter about the lineup. It doesn't matter about the changes, you know? You can always trust in the people around you, and you can get to it. You can get through it, and you can become an icon. And it doesn't matter if you're the biggest in the world.
Wow, Jared.
I know.
I don't have anything else to say. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, that's...
Drive home safe, everyone.
I don't know if this was the best episode we've ever done or the worst episode we've ever done. I don't know.
It's not I'm most excited to listen to because I don't know what you're going to do with this.
It's a mess. Absolute mess.